Welcome to Ron&Nick's Best Friend Podcast, the podcast you
cannot live with. Can we say you cannot live without for the Bible study too?
Yeah. What do you mean?
Okay, all right.
All the same. Why do you always draw this distinction between the two things?
Okay,
like
all right.
to me, they're all the same.
They are the same. You're
because
right.
Because the Holy Spirit wrote the Bible
because first of all, He does love us.
Because He loves us and He wants
relationship
with us. And so, I mean, I don't understand why we're doing the same thing. We're just reading the Bible while we do it.
So let's reiterate. The Holy Spirit wrote it.
Wrote the Bible. He wrote it.
When John is writing this, we're in John right now.
John's writing this, and the Holy Spirit's like, and we're writing this down, and we're doing it together.
And there are reasons for things that He put in there.
Yeah. He did.
I've learned that through going verse by verse, and this has been a blessing for me. I've never done it before, but it's interesting.
If you didn't listen to last week's Bible study version, please do yourself a favor. Go listen to it. It's amazing. Because what we're doing here is we're actually meeting with the Holy Spirit over the Word that He wrote, connecting with Him, and then He's helping us connect with each other and with you guys. So here we go, tribe. Let's talk about it. Let's start in verse 30 of John chapter 11, and then we'll go up to our target verse today, which is 34. Okay, here we go. 30. Now Jesus had not yet entered the village, but was still at the place where Martha had met Him. When the Jews who had been with Mary in the house comforting her noticed how quickly she got up and went out, they followed her, supposing she was going to the tomb to mourn there. When Mary reached the place where Jesus was and saw Him, she fell at His feet and said, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." When Jesus saw her weeping and the Jews who had come along with her also weeping, He was deeply moved in spirit and troubled. This is our verse. "Where have you laid him?" He asked. "Come and see, Lord," they replied. Okay, this is our verse. "Where have you laid him?" He asked. "Come and see, Lord," they replied. Okay, Holy Spirit, you wrote this for relationship connection. Tell us what you want us to get out of this.
And listen, we usually don't do this, Ron, but I want to do it here.
Okay.
It's important we do this. I want you just very quickly, because this was on last week's Bible study, just very quickly go on verse 33 about He was deeply troubled. Just kind of explain that, because this will set up what I'm thinking about 34.
About what that
Right,
says.
right.
Verse 33, when it says He was deeply moved in spirit, that word is He was snorting with anger. He was angry.
Okay.
He was extremely angry and disturbed. It's like, and last week the point was that Jesus is not just participating in the saving, He's participating in the suffering.
Right.
Which makes me love Jesus.
Just go a little bit deeper. He's participating in the suffering because it wasn't supposed to be like this, right?
Yeah, you go all the way back to the garden. It's like
right.
it's like, what's going on here? Like, this is not what God wanted. You know, this is not when He created. It was like, well, I don't theologically. I don't want to get into that.
Okay.
But you go from the garden. Don't eat of that tree. Okay, you eat of that tree. Bam! Here it comes, all the way down through the ages, down to this. Down to a dead man, and all of these people mourning as the result of the fall.
And if you've been listening to this Bible study, we have continuously said, oh my God, Jesus is walking in His own time. He's taking His time. He's taking His time to get there. He's laboring through this whole thing. It's just Martha's saying, you should have been here. Mary's now saying you should have been here. He's boiling with anger because of what's going on. What did you say? Snorting? What was the word?
Snorting with anger.
Snorting with anger, okay? It's been such a delay. We've been constantly saying, man, just get on with it. Get on with the miracle. And there's a reason why He's been doing it. Whatever God's reasons are His reasons. He's in His own tempo. And dude, right here, you know, Jesus can be really upfront sometimes and cut to the chase. And He says, okay, we know He knows. Okay, it's not like hide and go seek, go find the tomb, Jesus. And He says, where have you laid him? I think at this point, Jesus wants to get to it and get to the miracle. He's been living it for I don't know how many days now. He's experienced a lot of things, and now he's ready. It's like he is ready now and saying, where have you laid him? I'm ready. My time is up. I wanted everything to happen as it happened, and now I'm ready for the miracle. Where have you laid him? Which is kind of funny, again, because he doesn't know. I mean, I know he knows where Lazarus is, but he asks, but he's ready for the miracle right now. And then they say, come and see, Lord, they replied. Come and see. Okay. It's just very direct, and he's ready for it. That's what I get right now. That's the only thing I got.
I think it's an interesting question, and when you take it at its just on the highest level. The most basic level. Hey, okay, I'm here now. I'm ready now. Okay, where is he? Where's the dead guy? Okay, so you just where is the dead guy? It's basically like directions to the graveside. Okay, where they laid him. Some of us have loved ones that are in a graveyard.
Yeah.
You go, where have they laid him? For some reason, this Henry Shriver came to mind. I love Henry Shriver, and I remember the day we were at his funeral and quote unquote laying him to rest and thinking, okay, that's where Henry Shriver's body is, right? I remember thinking about this, and we love that man. Yes. Good man, good to us, godly man. And going, well, where is he? Where have you laid him? Well, there he is. He's right next to Granby Street. You know, that's where the graveyard is. That's where Henry Shriver is, where his body is.
Right.
So on the most basic level, is like, okay, could you take me there? On the other hand, you go, wait a second, this is God. Right? This is God. Does he need my help to get to
right
the place? And it goes back to what we said last week. Here, Jesus is experiencing life the way that we have to experience life. There's specific passages that go like, okay, he turned off his, I don't know, divinity in a certain way. That's a misquote. Don't email me about that. He turned off some of his God aspects, like he doesn't know everything that's going to happen. He has to get word from the Holy Spirit. He needs to be helped. He needed Mary to feed him when he was a baby. He needed Joseph to help him tie his shoes, his sandals. You know, he lived like we live. And so here's a very human moment. Okay.
Oh, so you're saying
he needed them to take him to the tomb. He was like, yeah, okay, show me where it is.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, take me there. So go back to last week. I said, okay, he participates.
The things he knew the Holy Spirit was showing him, there's some things that the Holy Spirit didn't show him.
He has to live exactly like we live, which means that
that's really amazing. I never thought of that.
He has to stay in contact with the Spirit. The Spirit has to lead him. He never did anything that the Spirit didn't lead him to do.
Right.
And so he says, okay, take me to the tomb. Show me where it is. So
that's amazing.
So he asked them. Think about it.
No.
I know that we do get down in the weeds because we're in one verse. You go, this is God asking you, hey, you show me where the dead body is,
and then I'll bring him up. Yeah,
well, he's already told the disciples what he's going to do. I'm going there to wake him up, and he's dead, but I'm going to go wake him up. And then they say to him, come and see. Come and see, Lord. Yeah, come and see, Lord. Yeah. It's this whole...
We've gone from teacher now you're Lord.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it comes around, doesn't it? Like all these different titles. Rabbi, Lord, you're the Christ. Here's the scene. Set the scene again. There's a crowd now. There are two mourning sisters, and he's saying, okay, where have you laid him? I wonder if there was a little ripple went through the disciples when he said that, or through Mary and Martha, like a little tingle.
Yeah.
It was like,
Yeah, we always talk about what they're seeing.
Yeah. You go, Are you gonna? Okay, so
If you were next to me and he said that, I'd be looking at you like, oh, are you serious? Is he going there? It's getting ready. Something's getting ready to happen.
yeah. Well, think about it. There's groups of people here. The disciples have the inside scoop. If they believed him, you got to go back to that. Did they? When he said, "I'm going to go there and wake him up," he's dead. I'm going to go there and wake him up. So there was probably like a little tingle going through them. I don't know about Mary and Martha. They've basically given up.
Right.
Like, you weren't here and my brother died. If you had been here, he wouldn't have died.
Right.
But you weren't here and he did die. Okay, so there's that group, and then there's the other crowd that are the mourners who are there, and there's all these people that are gathered around, and he says, "Okay, where is it?" And they say, "Come and see, Lord." I think you start to anticipate, like, is this the place where the story starts to turn up? Okay, go back to last week too. It's like when he says this, and you go, "Where have you laid him?" Okay, was he still angry? Was the anger coming through? Did he say it like that? Where have you laid him? Where is he? Is that because I can't imagine you just went from snorting, outrageous anger to like, where'd you lay him?
No, that's good.
It's probably still in the same context, right? I mean,
yeah,
it's a stern. Where have you laid him?
Right. It's very direct.
Right. And it's almost like this too. Where have you laid him? Where did you leave the dead guy? You left a dead guy where you leave all dead guys, right? You leave him in a grave. Like, where did you lay him down? Well, we laid him in this tomb. Okay, we're going to come and see. What do you think is in that answer? Come and see, Lord. Come and see. For some reason, it reminds me of the disciples, where there's that moment where the one, they're trying to tell these people about Jesus, and they're saying, "Hey, Jesus, we found the Messiah," and then the one says to the other, "Well, come and see."
That's very interesting. Yes.
So those guys are bringing people to the author of life, and they're saying, "Hey, come and see." And we found him. We found the Christ. And these guys are saying to Jesus, the author of life, "Hey, come to death. Come and see death. Come and see where we put all of our hopes in the ground." And I don't know what I get out of it. I don't. Again, I said maybe there's a little ripple in the crowd, but I don't get out of it that, I don't know. I think maybe hoping against hope would be the way I'd put it. Like, could something happen here?
You're talking about for Mary and Martha?
I'm talking about for everybody.
Yeah.
Like, they know that Jesus is special. Remember, they're going back and forth. I don't know. What else do you see here?
It's a short verse.
Well, we've done more with less.
I know, that's true. That's very true. I don't want to read too much into it, but come and see, Lord. I don't know if they're, I'm reading now stuff that's not there. I don't know if they even believe what's getting ready to happen still. Where have you laid them? Come and see. They replied.
Here's a question for you. So we know that Jesus heals the centurion from miles away. I guess, it's like the servant comes to him and says, "Hey, my master is this," or I guess the centurion comes and says, "My servant is sick."
Son or servant?
Servant, I think.
Okay.
And it says, "Will you come and heal him?" And or I don't remember exactly how it goes down, but anyway, Jesus doesn't go. He says, "I'll say the word." Say the word. Actually, the centurion says,
That's right.
"Say the word," and he goes, "Oh, wow, I've not seen faith like this."
Yeah.
And so the question would be like, does Jesus have to be within, like, I don't know, what is it? You have to be within 15 yards of the tomb so that Lazarus can hear you and come out of the grave. Or does it? Or could he have just said from right there, okay, you guys stay here, and I'm going to call Lazarus. Just hold still.
Oh, that's a good point.
And just from right here goes, hey, Lazarus. I mean, is it like he's speaking into eternity? He's speaking into the afterlife. He's speaking into a place. It's like, do you have to be physically close to it for Lazarus to hear? I don't know, but it's an interesting experiment thought. Like, could he have just said this? Or again, I'll go back to last week. Is this another way that he's going? Like, I'm going to go to the grave just like you went to the grave. I'm going to do what you guys had to do. Like, you went there, you put your loved one there, I'll go there with you. I'll go all the way. I'll go all the way to the edge of the grave with you. And there I'll show you who I am. You know, there I'll show you my authority. It's like, now I'm going to go through this whole thing. We got the mourners together, probably the same people that were at the funeral. You got Mary and Martha. You got the whole funeral party here. Okay, let's do this over again, but we're going to do it in reverse. Because now we're going to run the movie backwards now. Okay, we ready? We got the whole funeral party. Come.
You're speaking to that's going to happen to him.
Going to happen to who?
To Jesus.
No, I'm talking about them going. They're having the funeral now. They're going to go do the funeral again, but they're going to do it in reverse. Like, all the people were there 4 days ago whenever Lazarus died. Right. These are the same people. They're crying. Now he's going to go there with them. And they're going to recreate the funeral, except for they're going to run the film backwards from there. Because when they leave, they're going to say, here we laid him.
Oh, I got you.
Jesus is going to go get him up. And now they're going to do their funeral in reverse. You're like, oh, no one ever did this before. No one ever ran a funeral backwards. And that's what Jesus is doing. He's running the funeral backwards. Okay, we're going to do all the things. We're going to do all the crying. All the anger, all the stages of grief. We're angry. We're going to cry. We're going to mourn. We're going to wail. We're going to do all that, except for this time when the funeral is over, we're going to take the loved one with us. He's not going to be laying down anymore. So it's a reverse funeral. I just saw that. Like, that's what it has to happen this way, because he has to participate in the whole thing.
Is that another analogy of this is what happens to us?
Say that again. Like what?
There is the funeral for us, but there's an awakening in another life.
Yeah. Well, our funerals are going to work in reverse too. I mean, this is yeah. Because of what Jesus does, what does it say? Oh, death, where's your victory? Or what's the one with the sting? Oh, grave, where's your victory? Oh, death, where's your sting? Like, he's taking the sting out of it. And we're not gonna die. We're not gonna remain like Henry Shriver ain't staying in that place. Like, Henry Shriver's body's coming with him too. Somehow he's gonna have a renewed body that's going to go along with his spirit. And when you say, well, where did you lay him? Okay, that's where we laid him, but that's not where Jesus is going to leave him.
It just sends credence to when we say the Holy Spirit wrote these words. That's really it's a wedding. It's a funeral in reverse. It's exactly what's going to happen to us.